I can still hear his voice echoing in my ears, that cold, smug smirk on his face as he looked me up and down at the airport gate. "This is all you can handle?" he said loudly enough for people around us to hear. "Economy class? Come on." "Don't complain. This suits you perfectly." My name is Sophia. For 3 years, I had loved this man with everything I had. I supported him through his career struggles, stood by him when he lost his job, and sacrificed my own comfort many times just to make him happy. But that day at the airport, after I had just discovered he was cheating on me, he chose to humiliate me in public. We were supposed to be going on a trip together, a trip I had paid for. But when he saw my boarding pass for economy class, something in him snapped. Or maybe he just finally showed his true colors. The way he said it, with that arrogant smirk, it shattered me. People nearby turned their heads. I felt my face burn with shame. My hands trembled as I held my boarding pass. In that moment, I felt smaller than I had ever felt in my entire life. I wanted to disappear. I wanted the ground to swallow me whole. But I said nothing. I just took my bag and walked toward the plane, fighting back tears. What I didn't know was that the flight crew had been watching the entire scene. As I boarded the plane and found my seat in economy, my heart felt completely broken. The man I had trusted, the man I thought loved me, had just torn me down in front of strangers. And the worst part? This wasn't the first time. For months, he had been making little comments about my job, my looks, my dreams. He always made me feel like I wasn't enough. But that day at the gate, he crossed a line. The betrayal ran deeper because I had just found out he had been seeing someone else behind my back for weeks. I sat there in my narrow seat, staring out the window, feeling worthless. Tears silently rolled down my cheeks. How could someone who once said, "I love you," treat me like I was nothing? The plane took off. I tried to disappear into my seat, hoping no one would notice me, but the flight attendants had noticed everything. One of them, a kind woman named Rachel, walked past my row multiple times. She gave me gentle, knowing looks. I thought she was just being polite. Until about an hour into the flight, everything changed. The captain's voice came over the speaker, calm and professional. He announced that due to a minor technical issue, we would be upgrading a few passengers to business class. My name was called Sophia Reynolds. "Please come forward." I froze. Me? Business class? As I stood up, confused, I saw my boyfriend's face from a few rows ahead. He looked shocked. He had been upgraded earlier because of his frequent flyer status. He smirked again as if to say, "See? Even now, I'm better than you." But what happened next left the entire cabin stunned. Rachel, the senior flight attendant, personally escorted me to business class. But instead of taking me to a random seat, she stopped right next to my boyfriend. With a calm, professional smile, she said loud enough for everyone in the cabin to hear, "Sir, there's been a seating change. This seat belongs to Sophia. You'll need to move back to economy." The smirk on his face disappeared instantly. He tried to argue, his voice rising. "What? This is my seat. I have status." Rachel remained completely composed and replied, "Actually, sir, the upgrade was requested specifically for Sophia. And after what we witnessed at the gate, the crew has decided she deserves the comfort more than you do." The entire business class section went silent. People were staring. Someone even started clapping quietly. His face turned red with embarrassment as he was escorted back to economy. The same section he had mocked me for sitting in. The same section he had said, "This is all you can handle." As I settled into the wide, comfortable business class seat, Rachel leaned down and whispered kindly, "You deserve better than someone who speaks to you like that. We've got your back." In that moment, I didn't feel small anymore. I felt seen. I felt protected. For the first time in a long time, I felt like my worth was being acknowledged. He tried to apologize later, texting me frantically from the back of the plane. But it was too late. The damage was done, and the crew's quiet act of justice had given me something much more valuable than a better seat. It gave me my dignity back. That flight taught me a powerful lesson. Never let anyone make you feel like you're not enough. The right people will always see your worth, even when the person you love tries to destroy it. Sometimes justice doesn't come with loud arguments or dramatic fights. Sometimes it comes quietly, through the kindness of strangers who refuse to let cruelty go unchecked. And when it does, it feels incredibly sweet. From that day forward, I stopped shrinking myself for people who enjoyed making me small. I learned to walk away from anyone who smirks while breaking my heart. Because I am not all I can handle. I am so much more, and I will never again let anyone convince me otherwise.